Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rapper, busy man shit, nigga. They take their head off, nigga.
I read what Eve did to Adam. I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no hoe lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop can stretch the nigga. He ain't demon, this an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gonna get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers can they spin, I ain't listening. Is in fact a fear. If revenge was a woman, now I scope that bitch like Jake. So I war, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get him crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't be do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand it. I might put a switch on his Glock and call it young baby. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold? What he saying something, I ain't hear. This shit light. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that fight first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Free shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitching about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin, you with that, you for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign, yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' start to call it Bell. Right. Game. Pop out on them demons like I'm hell, boy.
Yeah, on 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and they head with that shit.
Find it. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I did it, nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. Know they want my life, I ain't worried, I got right for it. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They say you been in beast mode lately, you is not self. When you dropping that fire, precious smash, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspire. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. And it feel like Jeepers Creepers. Say they want some smoke, dog. Try and blow these chimney sweets. Coming like we coming, you can't even cap. These niggas don't run it like we run it. Bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. If you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, find me. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. in effect. Yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking. I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy. U.P.K top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that line to a damn tank. I got choppers stashed in that attic like they had Frank. They had that shit on lock until I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See, I'm throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Flying in, I ain't show no mercy, I'm gonna show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Hey, the start I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He's nice, but he don't show the skills how I show the skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a made, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. Said they want my life, I ain't worried, I got Ray for real. Dang! Killing motherfuckers. Stand over him. Shoot him in the face. Hey, listen, bro, you don't know me. I be this bitch tripping.
All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life. I'm on West for life, nigga, this a blow. Hey, yo, Madara, here go a clash for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel.
The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, sin and curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a death sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind fail. Hey, they said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like bad pal. But ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that offense a Dundee. They try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times and it's death do us part. Look. So how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the like you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go this zone. And the Lord said they hate you for my name. So you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing. Ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital, now it's murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fuck 'em, raise it. I pity those watching life as it goes by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. In pump smoke, never try to. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, it's sold out on. In the photo, salute my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. Now I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she need me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blow. So, how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go this zone. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah.
You know,
I just got to pull the trigger on it. Big soldier, nigga. Just give me a reason. Fuck peace, get even. Won't beat with fear. Take it over, nigga. Let me make it clear. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm about to start a fire. Whole team full of riders. They be dead on the ride, boy. Ain't gon' be no survivors. Big soldier, nigga. Come on. Don't care where it is. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm repped out. Tell them watch your mouth. You know we gon' bend your block. I'ma walk in time bomb. I go viral, you niggas like TikTok, yeah. This ain't what you want, tell them throw in the towel. We make niggas hit the clock, and with our toe fire, rain brimstone. They gon' think that you live a lie. We ain't got no picks, we want it all. We gon' make you pick a spot. We knocking on the door, so let us in. Or you know we gon' pick the locks. We in the field for real every day. While y'all just say watch, we making enemies. Our foot stores run no nothing by the eye. One try when I rock out, I'm like David when I sling shots. I'm putting attachments on everything. Y'all want me to connect the dot. This drum got 50 unreleased hits. You don't want to be the next to drop. I put them in a box and make that shit double wood. You don't want to be the next to flop. Yeah. Niggas feeling themselves. Get a shovel, tell them dig the plot. Can't fit you and your man's in it. Just tell them get a bigger box. Cause I'll put you in one and knock you out one. Call him my nigga knock. I'll put your song on, cut it on mute, and then tell you that shit was hot. Big soldier, nigga. Just give me a reason. Fuck peace, getting even. Won't beat with fear. Take it over, nigga. Let me make it clear. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm about to start a fire. Whole team full of riders. They be dead on the ride, boy. Ain't gon' be no survivors. Big soldier, nigga. Come on. Don't care where it is. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. Big soldier, nigga. I come in the name of the boss. So my niggas that is wartime. Already wait the coast. That point shoot bitch. Red Dead Redemption. Got them niggas scared to whisper. Is you with us or against us? Can't stop to the zone lock. I don't think you get the picture. It come from my head, I'm giving them lead. The preacher give him a scripture. Flow cold style vicious. Niggas sweeter than the missus. Got soldiers posted. I put them on your roof. Merry Christmas. Bring hither and slay him. Got the Glock out the book of Luke. Keep it stick like Dumbledore. Play dumb, I'ma let it loose. Call my gun harmony. Call my main bitch Betty Boop. He the truth, I'ma need the proof. Got stripes like Beaver Troops. Hit his ass like a Louisville. Hit him low, then I hit him high. Bring him home to the umpire. Give him balls like Wi-Fi. Turn the booth to a bonfire. Little bitch, I'm a live wire. I ride like a car tire. It's on mine when I ride by. Big soldier, nigga. Just give me a reason. Fuck peace, getting even. Won't beat with fear. Take it over, nigga. Let me make it clear. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm about to start a fire. Whole team full of riders. They be dead on the ride, boy. Ain't gon' be no survivors. Big soldier, nigga. Come on. Don't care where it is. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I heard they coming for blood, I'ma be coming for more. Give me the floor, they better come with a mop. I'ma be making it pour, nigga I'm raw. Fly with the hammer like Thor, found on my ops in the morgue. Tell I'm on fours, I'ma be bombing these lanes. Understand how and war, I've been the lead. Time to get back in the street, time to get back on my feet. Had time to read, check out we came from the east. Wait till my dogs are released, heard they would sleep. So we gon' wake them up, put them up in the sky. The Lord gon' take them up. I take on anybody, think he brave enough. I've been the same and I ain't never changing up. I'm in my zone, hit on my cellular phone. Tell me whatever he on, I take that scouter. He on them perks and that powder, homie ain't really that strong. I'm like a dog. Better yet, Benny King, I keep a lion head on my pinky ring. I keep a shield. Boy, you see everything. G43, Symphony, let it sing.
So, that's the way it is. So, nigga. Check. Can y'all hear me? Check.
Can we hear you just fine? Can you hear us in Durham, sir?
I can hear you Twab in Durham.
Connor don't want concert. Salaki, sir, we also got Charlotte, Officer of 5,000 Lahab is in as well, sir.
Okay, most high Christ. Who all in who's there with you that's in Durham, Mahayor?
This is Officer Thabawan. It's myself, Officer Mahayor, Officer Yanazar, Officer Maya Shaw. He just had to step out real quick, but Officer Maya Shaw's here as well.
All right, well, most high Christ.
We got other brothers coming in. I think Trooper Akash Carr is joining us right now as well.
All right, most high Christ. Let's get it on then. Let's clap it up. All right, once again, Shalom, Yahweh by Shemal Shah.
Let's get it on there. Let's clap it up.
To the sisters that tuned in, I'm preaching officer of 5,000 Zion Yahweh. And I'll be at the hymns until I had to relinquish the class to a brother or Captain I. So we just started in on the class. Brothers tuning in. Y'all know how I like to do it. I like to get into the topics, man. So, well, Yana Zoe, Salakia, Thought one, you got any topics you want to jump on before Captain I get here?
Salakia, nothing in particular. There's definitely a lot of a lot of things that's been kind of, proliferating through the earth.
Let's get into this one. I know y'all heard of what's the country singer name?
Jason Aldean. Aldean?
Jason Aldean, right? The whole number one song in America. Number one song in America. And what do anybody know what was the name of the song?
Try That in a Small Town? Or something like that?
Try That in a Small Town. Now I'm curious to know. Now, the way they speak about this record it must be something like the new it must be the new flavor or something, you know what I mean? It has to be the new flavor. I know they was talking about the lyrics that was in the song and how it picked out specific incidents that have happened that kind of correlate to real life, and the guy was just saying he's just writing a song. Why is it that our lives are just so easily mocked, man?
Right.
What is it? Come on, what you got, Yonazo?
We the Lord's chosen people, right?
Yeah.
So the scriptures tells us that we're the oppressed. We're the ones that are hated in this kingdom more than any other nation. And so now we see over the past couple of months all of the new legislation and things that are coming down against us. And so now they have an opportunity to rally their troops in the form of music, so to speak. Like, this is like the battle cry song right now for white supremacists, because they understand just as well as we do what they're saying in that music.
Let me get the book of Ezekiel 35:5, Baba Kusha.
I'm right here right now, sir.
You already had it?
Yes, sir.
Could you go ahead and read it for me on his own?
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
Because they have had a perpetual hatred. Meaning, like, this ain't something that's new. Right. It said thou hast had, meaning past tense, right?
Right. Kind of one kind.
This is something they have had for a very long time. They've had a perpetual hatred. What does the word perpetual means, Baba Kusha?
Salaki Adawan, if I may.
Come on.
Perpetual, never ending or changing, occurring repeatedly, so frequent as to seem endless and uninterrupted.
To seem so frequent and uninterrupted. So because of the Lord had mercy on me and allowed me to be in I.S.U.P.K, I fully understand what it means to have a perpetual hatred towards the children of Israel.
That's right.
And it seems like there's a constant onslaught of bereavement of Black, Hispanics, Native Indians. It's a continual effort, nonstop. You turn on your television, you turn to BET, they demolish your character, they make fun of your shortcomings. You turn to CNN, they lying to you about your neighborhoods. You turn to Fox News, they're talking about gentrification. It's a constant attack on Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They said by the time a child reaches the age of 6, they are very familiar with racism, man. In their mind, there's already a seared separation between races, if I'm not mistaken. Not my words. This is scientifically proven, right?
It's like, sir, if I could.
Please.
If I could just share, I remember know what I'm saying? I grew up in the country, so I remember like being like elementary school. And so whenever we would like play, it was like me and maybe like one other brother, and it's like we always had to be it. And they said we had to be it because we was black.
Damn, could you imagine that? Like, now that you're conscious of what goes on, like, we've always been tagged, you're it. We've always been the scapegoat. They've had a perpetual hatred, perpetual, nonstop, seeming like to never end. Ain't that what it said, Bunk, y'all? You can't think of nothing that you do all the time that you would think that you don't want it to stop sometimes. I know some brothers think, man, I can do this for hours. Yeah, right. You know, I can have fun for hours. No, you can't. I can smile for hours. No, you can't. I just go to the mall and just spend money for hours. No, you can't. But this thing that they hate, that the thing that they have for Black, Hispanics, Native Indians, it seems like it's never ending. You start hearing about the brothers dying, being unalive at the border. Now it's like every day on the news, they're putting new buoys out in the water to stop them from crossing over the borders. That they're coming up with new, ever since Agent Orange saying build a wall is always a constant reminder. When are we going to start building that wall? How can we, intensify border patrols, character or their jobs? It's a constant onslaught of how to reduce us to lower in this empire, man.
Hey, excuse me, Salaki, sir.
Come on.
Biden ordered the governor of Texas to remove those floating barriers, which we all seen them. I hope. It's horrible, but he refused, man. There's no chain of command. Like, he told Biden, like, he ain't moving them at all. Take me to court.
You know what's crazy? That's what I expect out of them, because they have a perpetual. They always that's who we're dealing with. That's the devil that the Bible speaks of. He's a deceiver, right? So when we talk about this song, try that in a small town, they're signifying these dog whistle terms that they use to let their people know, all right, it's time that we get everything in order. See, they'll play those songs, but when you talk about, what is his name, Leon Cohen? Cohen? Charlemagne asked him, well, if you're seeing all these issues in the Black Hispanic, the Black community, why do you sign the rappers that perpetuate this type of music? Y'all remember what he said, right? He said the kids got to eat. Yeah, I got mouths to feed. He said he had mouths to feed. So why can't we start making songs up? If Jason Aldean can make all them, you know what I'm saying, all the songs that he making, right, try that in a small town, this is the #1 song in America. They shouldn't have a problem with Captain Akkad, Prepare Slaughter. Right. Right. You can't tell me that song ain't fire. Right. You shouldn't have a problem with, what's the brothers out there that was in California made the you know what I'm talking about? What's his name? What is doing? Cole. He shut YouTube down for a day.
What, Natazar?
Natazar, yeah. Shut it down. Why isn't that song on the radio? What's the difference, Hakim? What is the difference? What's the difference between Jason Aldean's song and our brother's song? I know my brother's song sound 100 times better than the crap that they're playing on the radio right now. Come on. What is it? This empire does not want us to have any gall, if I may, any type of dignity or essence of standing up for yourself, man. Standing up for yourself. That was another brother that who ignorantly said that slavery did us some good in his empire. That was another one that came out this week, right? How many more coming, man? Brother says slavery allowed us to have the skills that we have here in America, man. We was talking about this yesterday in class. I said, you could talk about black, Hispanics, Native Indians like that, but you would not do that for the so-called Jewish man. You would not say that the so-called Holocaust did him some good. You wouldn't dare say that. I ain't heard it yet, Bunk, y'all. Huh? No.
That's crazy.
You can't even have Nazi memorabilia.
Right.
But how is it that they have tons of museums for African, Salakia, for so-called African, matter of fact, artifacts that belong to the children of Israel in museums that they own and charge you to go into the museums and see them? Read that verse again, Yonazar.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred
Mm-hmm.
and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
So somebody break that down for me. Break that last part down, Bob Kushaw. Who want to take it?
I'll try it, sir.
Please.
It's saying at the end, it says, like, even like we done served our punishment already, man. We done served them in slavery. We done served all of the curses already, and they still want to kill us, man. They still hate us. They still want to kill us no matter what, even though we've served our time.
You got that out of that verse?
Come.
Read the scripture again from the top. Let them know where you are.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, and verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword.
All right, stop right there. And have shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. What is this saying?
That they've been murdering us with weapons.
That's true. That's true, right? It goes together. It said, because thou have had a perpetual hatred and has shed. So it's saying this is in addition to. It's not just saying like, yeah, you had a perpetual hatred, but it's also, this is also in addition to what you've done with your hatred. It's breaking down what you've done in your hatred for the children of Israel, right?
Come on.
But when we say by the force of the sword, somebody may say, well, they're not killing brothers and sisters with swords anymore. So what would be what could be a, all right, so it's what?
The force of a sword. A sword is metaphorically a weapon, but it could be any kind of weapon. It could be drugs, biological weapons, man. They're killing us with these drugs, man.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It's whatever they're using against us. It's like the general said last night. He said, like, in that movie, they cloned whatever his name was, Tyrone.
Yeah.
They cloned Tyrone, but they never used drugs as one of the things that they're using against us, even though it's one of the main things that they've used against us to destroy the most of us.
It's a word in that verse that I don't want to just glance over. It's a real heavy word, and that word is force, man. Force. Like you think about the things that have happened to Black, Hispanics, Native Indian. It wasn't by like, they didn't ask us for our opinion. The oppressor has dealt with us in a way that they never asked us what our opinion was. They never cared about what our opinion was. They come with the mindset of, I want it, I'm going to take it. It's perpetual. That mindset has not changed in this empire, right? by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. What does that mean?
It basically means we were at our worst and we were in our worst condition.
Go ahead, Bunky.
Salakia, you know, to add on what Officer Good Night, forgot my brother's name, Yanazar was saying, you know, it's almost like they have zero compassion. It's like kicking a man while he's down. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what makes us down?
Well, the fact that we have been disobedient, you know, to our power. We've been disobedient so much so that, you know, we don't have the protection that we would have if we were obedient.
Yeah, facts. So for it to be perpetual, you already got to be in the point where it's like the thing that you would have protecting you, it's not even there. You understand? For something to be repetitive, it already has to be, there's nothing stopping it. You understand? What's the word? Inertia? Right. Is that inertia where the force keep going until it meets some fighting against you? Well, at this point, said Black, Hispanics, Native Indians, because of our destruction, the things that would be the adverse or the opposing force is not even existence now. Our gates would languish. There's no separation of what's righteous and what's unrighteous when it comes to our communities, except for the pillar in the I.S.U.P.K. We are the buffer that are standing in between all the other nations really just having their way. You understand? And we stand with the Lord and fighting against this perpetual hatred, huh? But everybody else say that what? We're wrong and they're right. But not understanding when you listen to these songs, why are you really upset? Because you know that what they're doing is showing you their perpetual hatred towards you, towards us. You know, when they stand up and say slavery did Negroes some good, you know that there's a force that somebody's allowing these things to be said and nobody is coming up against it. Huh? Right. Nobody is becoming an adversary against what they say about Black, Hispanics, Native Indians, except for Commander Junior YAHANNA, man. That's right. And they doing this to the Pookies, Ray Rays, LaShonda, Taquisha. They making fun of all this in their time of what? Their calamity, man. They come in, they gentrify the neighborhoods at our time of calamity, man. Right. Every other nation, all the other countries have given up and say, you know what, y'all can all have free health care. Why is it so hard in supposedly the greatest nation in the earth right now? Why is healthcare such a damn problem for the poor and the sick? Because you know why? Because white society doesn't want us to have it, man. They don't want us to have it in our what? Time of calamity. That's right.
Salakia, sir.
Please, come on, Jonas.
I read an article today, or was it yesterday? But I read an article where in Las Vegas, in the wealthy areas, the rents are actually going down, but in the poor areas, the rents are going up in Las Vegas.
Please, Salakia, that's a very heavy point that Officer Yanazar just mentioned. You know, you think about the brothers and sisters that have the unfortunate, you know, experience of having to try to come to America, you know, as refugees. And they talked about how, you know, they have these aid groups that plant, you know, gallons, jugs of water out in the desert. And then you have those coyotes out there, you know, the so-called oppressor, cutting the barrels in half. So not only do they not want them to come to America, they want them to die in the desert of dehydration. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there is no end to their hatred. Salakia.
Damn, brother. Let me get Isaiah 5:20. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we've been dealing with as a nation of people, man. And they say all the time, like, Commander Junior YAHANNA don't know what they're talking about. The I.S.U.P.K is this. The I.S.U.P.K is that. They block out. If you wanna fight against crime in this empire, stop shadow banning our content on YouTube. You worry about saving healthcare funds in his empire. Stop shadow banning our message when we saying stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster.
Right.
The food that we're eating, the Lord is against us, huh? Us not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, the Lord is against us. You see the things that the Christian church has produced over the years. Christians have had their way with this empire and across the globe. And guess what the Lord is allowing? He's allowing all of it to fall apart, man.
Right.
Right. Who got that verse for me? Isaiah 5 and what I said? 5 and 20. Please, come on.
Okay. The book of Isaiah, chapter 5, verse 20.
Uh-huh.
Woe unto them that call evil good.
Woe to what?
Woe unto them that call evil good.
Are you sure that's saying what does the word woe mean, Baba Kushaw?
It's like it's a great destruction.
A great destruction to them that call what?
Evil good.
So why would they receive destruction for calling evil good?
So like it's because they're against good things.
Okay, break it down. What you mean by they're against good things?
So like I said, they're against good, which is, you know, the word of the Lord, his law, statutes, and commandments.
Which is what? I'm looking for one word. Well, maybe two. The truth.
Kind.
The truth. The truth is something that's good. But this empire be like, nah, that's evil, man. What are some of the things that they say that are good that are actually evil, Baba Kushaw? Being the fact that we know the truth. For those that are out there listening, what are some of the things that most people in the world would consider to be good things? But knowing the truth spirit of Christ, you understand? And what the King, our power wanted here on earth, what are some of those things that we know that are evil that the world calls good?
So like go ahead, sir.
No, so like if I may, I was going to say, you know, their whole holiday system.
The holiday system?
We've been conditioned to believe in fantasy. You know, we don't even live in reality.
But so what makes the holiday system evil? See, I'm glad that's where I want to go. See, because most people would contribute holiday system to what? A time for family, a time to get off work, a time to express love. Ain't that what they say?
That's right.
So how could that be evil when I'm being, you know, how Christians think? You know, it's been a long time. You know what I'm saying? But they think like, this is a good time for my family to get together. Right. Haven't seen my grandmother in 2 years since the family reunion. I only get time off work, you know, this time of year to, you know, to celebrate, you know, these holidays. Right. So how could that be evil?
Well, the celebration of the holiday in itself is the worship of other gods, which is a direct violation. It's sin, according to what our laws say. Mm-hmm. You know, and then, you know, the things that transpire when we do these things, you know, it's like adding sin to sin. You know, you can't just, you put a Christmas tree up and then you get on your knees and you worship the tree with your children, and you don't even know what it represents.
So what you're essentially saying is the origin of the things that we do nowadays is the evil part of it.
Right.
But they cover it up and call it what?
Good.
What was you about to say, Maya Shaw?
Yeah, so like I said, I was going to say like interracial relationships and things like that, or eating shrimp, crab, and lobster.
Hold on. All right, so let's do this. All right, so here we go. So that I like to do this so that way we all understand. Interracial relationships. Well, they tell us you can't help who you love. Right. Love has no color. They know what they say. You know? Why can't we just be what? Happy. Right? So now you tell me in the context of evil is good, what's wrong with interracial marriages, Maya Shaw?
So like I said, because blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, God's chosen people, are a separate people, a holy people, to be, you know, amongst one each other, not with those other nations.
Why?
It's like I said, because we're chosen by God. We're not to mingle with those that call evil good.
Why?
Oh, slack it, sir, because of the law.
But I'm looking for something very specific. So that way somebody may just be tuning in the class will be very specific. It is against the law. That's true. But what else? Because if you marry another nation, right? It said, give not your sons and daughters over to another nation. Why?
Oh, slack it, sir, because it weakens us.
Yes, but what else?
Salakia.
Come on.
You take on the customs of the other nations.
Right. Come, give him a hand. Most High in Christ. So the origin of it is like the Lord said, don't do it. And because what you do, you'll take on that spirit of what?
The other
nations and serving their God. Even though the world said this is a good thing. But we know it to be what? A bad thing. We know it to be what? Evil. That's the what? That's the truth. And woe to them that say this is a good thing. They say, what was the other one that you were just about to use, Maya Shaw?
It's like it's the shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster.
It's just food, isn't it? It's just food. I mean, what they say? If I was all alone in the desert and I was about to die and a pig walked by, you mean to tell me I can't eat the pig? So what makes the food evil, Baba Kashaw?
It's like it's because it's unclean, it's ungood, it's not good for you.
It's unclean. You see what the truth does for somebody who wants to live a righteous life? It makes things easy for you, right? And this empire, we're constantly bombarded by ideas of you making yourself feel good all the time. And half of the time, those things that you think will make you feel good are what? Are evil. But this world says you can go ahead and do it. That's why the scripture says, woe to them. Because in your doing those things, you'll destroy yourself. You'll destroy your community. You'll destroy your children. You'll destroy a nation that's supposed to be separate, right?
Oh, God.
Somebody give me something else that they tell us is good, but it's actually evil, Baba Kushaw.
So like I don't want, if I may.
Come on.
Online, we got young man Bell. He said LGBT, sir.
Oh.
And then he also said smoking weed.
The smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
Stimulate your mind, Craig. Mm-hmm. Get high, Craig. You ain't got nothing else to do, Craig. And it was it. So, what is that thing that they say is good about marijuana? What is that thing that they say that is good about marijuana?
Salakia, sir.
Please.
Captain I Thoughts ready to roll, sir.
And Salakia, with that, I'm going to turn the class over to Preacher Prophet of the Lord, Captain of 13,000, Captain I Thought Banyama.
Yeah, boy. You're in it, in the game. Shalom, Yahaba Shem Shabaka Thumb. Yahweh Bashim Shai. How y'all doing today?
Swap, sir.
Good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I see you hitting on some good points too. You know what I mean? And that show, I think most on the line of this whole, this drugs. You understand?
Come on.
That America, somehow think, that black people is at fault for the way they are today.
Right.
All right. And now, we'll go through a few things. I hope I don't lose you all in the process. You know what I mean? But we'll get through a few things today. So first off, somebody look up the reason why somebody will choose to do drugs. Just look it up on the internet. All right. And let's see. Copy. I didn't get to read through this entire what you call it again, article, right? Tab 1. But I'm send it to you and you can skim through it.
Right? Like, the one you sent me, I chopped it up with the timestamp you gave me.
Yeah, well, I forget. To what, brother?
Send it to your email today.
No. I saw it, but I say I forget. That is one of the things that make me, you know what I mean, want to do it today now.
Okay.
All right. But I'll put something in the chat area, in the private chat area.
Okay.
So, like, I want, if I may.
Go ahead.
I have an article according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse. And the title is The Science of Drug Use, a Resource for the Justice Sector. Why do people use drugs? People use drugs for many reasons. They want to feel good, stop feeling bad, or perform better in school or at work. Or they are curious because others are doing it and they want to fit in. It says the last reason is very common among teens. And then, Salak, if I may, drugs.
Which was the last reason again?
The last reason is they are curious because others are doing it and they want to fit in.
Right. I know. You know what I mean? We could. You know what I mean? That is how to put it. Tell me who wrote. Does it say who wrote the article?
Connor one Con.
Then I might know the mindset then. Come on.
It's the National Institute on Drug Abuse, Advancing Addiction Science.
Right.
NIH, National Institute of Health.
Right. So that is the, you know what I mean, the oppressor system. Right. And of course they're gonna say this, but you showing movies and making it like something cool where, you know what I mean, actors are smoking weed. Right. Rappers are smoking weed. And now you're saying it's curious for them? No, you are teaching them to smoke weed. Right. To smoke marijuana. It's the same thing with the LGBTQ community. It's being pushed on the television, pushed in the schools, pushed everywhere. It's being pushed, which lets you know what? That this type of lifestyle is being taught. You understand?
Right.
Because a kid come out, you know what I mean? At what age a kid will know he's a boy or girl? You understand? If not for the parent explaining to them, this is you have this part. You understand?
Turn the camera.
Right?
Come on.
Understand? I think there was there's a news, something in the news also too, a while back, with the parents going off because a doctor asked his either 7 or 9-year-old whether he feels like a boy or girl, and he was pissed off. You understand? Because now you taking away what, you know what I mean, you taking away the responsibility of a parent, in other words. And now you're trying to push an agenda that the government is trying to push on black people. Right? Now, what's his name? Tabon. We won't get jammed up for playing the video, right? Or you don't know?
I'm not sure, so but I don't believe so.
Okay.
Should be public.
So we're going to see something here, right? And you're going to see why we say the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. You understand? This wouldn't make it to you know what I mean, like to CNN or Fox News and stuff. You really had to be, you know what I mean, you had to know these websites, you know what I mean, to get some of these news. But it's out there. Right? So go ahead and play it from the top one.
Come on, concert. Lock it.
I know. Oh man, top one guy doing a ton of stuff, boy. I wish I had somebody else behind that computer too to help you out. All right, but we're gonna get it through. We'll take our time and we'll get it through.
Come on, I got you.
All right, so now before you play it, right? Now show them the article. Show them the article. Show them the article that I put in the private
I got you, sir.
All right. Now, what you're going to see is, you know what I mean, like black people had to stop blaming themselves for the situation and the position they're in. You understand? Not to say I'm giving them an excuse to do what? To do drugs. I'm not giving them an excuse to do drugs. But because you know what I mean, that our people, our nation is in this type of turmoil, because of drugs.
So like for me, other one.
Come on.
I remember a couple of weeks ago, I think y'all went into that on Commander Jenny Hunter show, where the so-called Jewish man had honor courts, and they were saying that because of their condition, the so-called Jewish man was in during Nazi Germany, they couldn't necessarily blame themselves for the action that they was doing against their own people during that time. I think it was called the honor courts.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, you brought that back to memory for me. That's so correct. You understand? And they know you can't blame a people that have been oppressed because of the position they're in right now. No, this article was what? What year was this written in Taiwan?
So like I said, it looks like it was written 2 years ago, in 2021.
And what does it say?
It says the
no. Read the heading.
It says addiction should be treated, not penalized.
Okay. Now we'll get to this article, but no, play that for me, and then I don't think I could share my I might have to share the Kindle on my side with you, right? So you can see there's a book. I don't know if you all ever hear a book by the name of what's the name of the book? When Crack Was King. You ever heard about that book?
I've heard of it, Sir Khan.
All right. So we'll get through a little bit of that book also too.
Right?
So try and go back and forth. All right. So go ahead and play it for me.
Now let's turn our focus to Afghanistan, where the Taliban look like they're actually up to something good. Last year, they banned the cultivation of poppy. That's the crop used to make the drug heroin. It was a major source of income for Afghan farmers, also a major source of funding for the Taliban. But they banned it. Now, on the face of it, the move seems like a rare positive by the Taliban, but the West is not happy with it. They're now raising an alarm over the shortage of the drug.
Pause it, Taliban. You all understand what's taking place here, right? You understand what is taking place here.
Sir.
I'm going to say class, but Akim.
Sir.
Come on, what's taking place here?
Okay, if I may, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the flow of profits from the heroin that the United States government and their associates have been receiving from the opium trade is being jeopardized.
It's being what?
Being jeopardized.
No. Okay, what you're saying is correct. You talking about the overall, but I talking about what was just said there.
The Taliban, which they had done this before as well, cut off the supply, and they trying to take some kind of. It seemed like they're trying to take some kind of moral stand as far as putting drugs on the market, because they know they're one of the primary sources of this particular drug source. So they want to maybe change their image and seem like they're doing something good for the world.
Image. Boy, I wish it was the image. I wish it were the image. All right. I wish it was that. But Taliban, play that over one more time for us from the beginning.
So like I said, my computer's going to go.
Take your time.
Now let's turn our focus to Afghanistan, where the Taliban look like they're actually up to something good. Last year, they banned the cultivation of poppy. That's the crop used to make the drug heroin. It was a major source of income for Afghan farmers, also a major source of funding.
Pause it. Pause that right there. So this drug is a drug that used to make what?
Slocky, sir.
Opioids, but she said something there. What she said?
Heroin.
Oh.
Heroin.
Right.
All right. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Right.
Right. Now, heroin. What type of drug is heroin? who's mostly affected by heroin?
Sucks, or blacks and Latinos in the inner cities.
You see the
Indians too, the reservations.
Salakia.
Come on.
Caucasian, sir.
Let's see now. So you remember the article we just read, right? All right, the article when it say it should be what? Drug addiction should be treated as a what? Shouldn't be treated as a what? Should be treated as addiction, not basically as getting penalized, meaning as a crime. Right?
Okay.
No. The Taliban is putting an end or a ban on this leaving their country, or this opium leaving their country, this type of drug leaving their country. Right? Now play a little more Tabo one.
Come on, concert.
Taliban, but they banned it. Now, on the face of it, the move seems like a rare positive by the Taliban, but the West is not happy with it. They're now raising an alarm over the shortage of the drugs.
No, Akia.
Not making this up.
Pause. Is drugs bad?
Kind of one kind.
Kind of one kind.
Salakia.
Come on.
Illegal drugs are bad.
That's exactly what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. This year, we're talking about illegal drugs. I want to say illegal drugs. What kind of plants is this? The poppy?
Okay.
All right. This type of drugs, is it bad for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians?
Kind of one kind.
All right. We don't need what? Statistics. Right? We just walk out the door and we can see it. You understand?
Come on.
I know each one of you have a family member was on heroin or crack or some type of drugs that that they're crazy out their mind. You understand? That's how bad it is. You understand? In our community. Right? And what does the Bible say about that? What does the Bible call it?
So like you say, what does the Bible call the drug addiction or drug abuse? Slugger.
It's like it looks like Cap might have dropped out. I think he'll be back in a second, but it looks like Cap dropped out. It was kicked out of the live or something. I'll play the video from the top in the meantime.
Now let's turn our focus to Afghanistan, where the Taliban look like they're actually up to something good. Last year, they banned of poppy. That's the crop used to make the drug heroin. It was a major source of income for Afghan farmers, also a major source of funding for the Taliban. But they banned it. Now, on the face.
All right. Sorry, I think either I kicked myself out or something happened to drop. All right. No. They say it was a major source of what?
Income, sir.
Of income. What do black men say that they're doing selling drugs for?
So, like, if I may, I think that was the what we say, the opiate crisis that hit a lot of the pain meds come from the opium, that they put into modern day medicine. I don't want like a lot of the if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the cancer medicine. They put the opium in there for the patients to deal with pain, and they sell it. In the United States, the whole idea of them, the military was the one that were patrolling the opium. I mean, the opium plant that was in Afghanistan. So there was a lot of they were doing a lot of lying. They were controlling it, but at the meantime, the people wasn't receiving any of the kickbacks the U.S. controlling the poppy fields.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're saying is bad for the economy, but the states, the military run those poppy fields now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. Let's see why the Taliban's decide to ban it. All right. But first, I think you all didn't hear me, but give me Exodus 22 on what? On what I'm looking for. 22 on what?
Salaki, sir.
$22.1. Is that what he said?
I think Cap dropped out again. I'm not sure if he's having some technical difficulties. Again, what was that scripture he asked for, sir? Salaki?
Exodus 22, but I didn't get the verse.
Cap. Salaki out of one you. Wait for Cap to get back in, sir.
Just stay ready. He already got the scripture. If you could
play the video.
Yeah, play the video. Come on.
He didn't get the second.
Cap is back, sir.
Yo, I don't know what going on here, but what the hell going on here? Somebody trying to sabotage?
Salagi, so you talking about the opioids?
Yeah.
Come.
Good night. They're trying to sabotage me, man.
It could be you in a small town, out of one.
Ha! I hope not. Yeah.
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
So you saying this article saying the Taliban is banning opium?
Yes. You're gonna see it.
I'm saying,
you know what I mean? Come on.
And this is, I mean, could I make a educated guess?
Come on.
They're banning opium because it's making their soldiers weak.
You on it. You're on it because that's going to be the end result.
So,
Come on.
Didn't the news reporter say something about the West didn't like it? America?
Yeah, America doesn't like it.
Right.
America does not like what they're doing. All right. Now, I mean, and lo and behold, I would not be shocked if in the morning or sometime in the near future they're back in Afghanistan, claiming they're trying to eradicate terrorism. You understand? Come up with some enemy, because the Taliban, I think today also too. You can look it up, brother. They shut down all the saloons. They shut it down. All the hair salons, they shut it down.
You said they shut down. What was that, Cap? You said they shut down the what?
The hair salon.
Hair salons. Come on.
Yeah. Salaki from a mispronunciation. All right, but the hair salons in Afghanistan, it's closing now. So you can look it up by the time, or somebody could look it up by the time, and we just read it. You understand? Now, give me Exodus 20. What did I say?
I think you cut off before
Exodus 22
and 18.
18.
Mm-hmm.
I got it, sir.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not suffer, Salakia. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22, and verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live.
You understand? All right? And that's the Lord trying to do what?
Salaki, sir.
Come on. What's the spirit behind this law?
Stop drug addiction.
Yes. Because drug addiction, you saw what it did to black people. It destroyed us. You understand? Martin Luther King came after Martin Luther King. Was it Black Panthers before or after? I'm trying to remember. I think it was just after Martin Luther King, right? I think that would
around the same time, sir.
Around the same time, but they survived after he died.
Yes.
They kind of clipped up more once he was killed.
Yes. And then the drugs came and just wiped them out. You understand? That drugs and COINTELPRO came and wiped them out.
Come on, come on.
You understand? That's why the Lord say what? Thou shalt not what?
Suffer a witch to live.
You understand? The Lord wants us to rather, what does the Lord rather us do? Like if you had to go to the extreme, what do you rather us do?
Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
Die.
Yeah. He rather us die than do what?
Be drug addicts.
What does it say? He rather us die than be a what?
A witch.
A witch, which is a drug dealer. You understand? He rather us die. So the CIA come to you and you, Ricky Ross, what you should do? What you should do?
That's like it, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You should just stay poor in South Central LA and not mess with drugs at all.
Yes. Why am I saying that? Give me the scripture where it say where it says the Son of Man didn't have a place to rest his head. You understand? Now I'm going to the extreme because that's where you are going in here. You know that, right?
Come on.
On here, one man. The rest of you all didn't know that?
Come on.
The rest of you all didn't know that your life on the line here for your brothers? Akia?
Come on.
Y'all didn't know that. Y'all better come on. I better
I need a
I
spoon.
better hear it.
I gotta eat it with a spoon.
Right? You ain't in here to this is not what the Boy Scouts. This is not that Christian purple group. You understand? In here, you could die serving the Lord. It's possible. You understand? Because of what you're saying, what you're doing. Like really understand what you're doing. Understand that you are putting what are you putting? I'm trying to think about the best way to put it to you. Give me 1 minute. You all find that scripture for me?
I got it, sir.
Hold on.
Thank good, boy. Crazy, man.
Yeah. Who have it for me?
I got it, sir.
Come on.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 9, and verse 58.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahushua said unto him, foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests.
You want to know why I tell you you're going to have to go to the extreme? Because this is what your king did. The king went to the extreme?
Con, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to the extreme, man. Read and you'll see how extreme he went.
But the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head.
Meaning what?
He homeless.
Nigh on to being. You understand? He didn't have a home. Meaning he didn't own a home. You understand? And for you to come and say, well, you know what I mean, my daughter had to eat, so I have to now go poison my nation. You understand? It's wrong. You understand?
Okay.
All right. Any more to that, Yaniza?
Sir.
All right. So that's why I tell you have to go to the extreme. That's why what you're doing in here is extreme. What you're doing in here, what are some of the things brothers and sisters say?
You're in a cult. you're in a cold. You done lost your mind.
Okay, no, pertaining to their life. Why they say, you know what I mean, they ain't coming in? The most reason why they don't say they're coming in.
It's too extreme for them, if I may, sir. It's too extreme. It's too many rules. You know.
A
lot of times, if I could, sir,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the excuses is not. It's like a broad excuse. It's not really like a detailed excuse.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just be like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna come to class, but I got to get myself together first.
Okay, go to the root of it.
They know they're coming in here. They got to change.
Okay, get to the root of, you know what I mean, root of the issue. There's one or two things.
I think Officer I.S.U.P.K got something, sir.
Oh, so like, sir, they don't want to change.
That's what Tabon is saying. I know Hawan. I will get to the root of it. Somebody was saying it a while ago.
Yes, sir.
I think Tabon was borderline on one of the issues. Come on.
It's like they don't want to go through the pain of what it takes to change. Like, you know, if I know I'm sipping lean, I know if I quit, the withdrawals are gonna kill me or it's gonna suck. Or I know I'm gonna quit smoking cigarettes. So it's like, damn.
So what's the roots?
They're just, you know, it could either be they are
scared.
too weak, they're scared, or they just selfish. They don't care about the nation.
Okay, simple. They want to get high.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Right?
Come on.
Simple. They is either the reason why they're saying it's too much rules is because they want to get what? High. Because ain't nobody outside of the school. You could sit down and have an intellectual conversation with a brother or sister pertaining to the issues that go on in the black neighborhood. And they're going to do what? Would they agree with you that black people are dying at an alarming rate, that black people are addicted? Come on.
Like, you can sit and have a conversation, but nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to even try to understand it. Even though everybody sees it, nobody wants to agree with you that it's really happening.
Okay, they will agree with you, but the mere fact that they don't want to see it is because they know if they see it, that means it's going to have to start with them, meaning they're going to have to put that blunt down. They got to put the lean down. You understand? And then the other one, what's that scripture? Give me a precept of what I'm talking about. Christ said it. Where he said that if a man try to save his life, he's going to lose it. Pull that for me. Right? So it's either he's going to get high or because of what? What's the root of evil? What's the root of all evil?
The love of money, sir.
Money.
It's like, sir, I believe it's the book of Matthew 16:25.
Yeah, when you get it, read it for me.
Book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 25. For whosoever shall save his life shall lose it. And whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
That is your root right there if you want to go on why people don't want to come into the truth. You understand? Read that one more time.
It's lucky, I got it.
Come on.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 15, 16, verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it.
Right. Whoever shall save his life. A brother that's trying to save his life is going to make every excuse of not to come into the truth. But he for sure ain't making that excuse not to get high. You understand? And he gonna make an excuse because he has to what? He got to go work for the so-called oppressor. He need that money. You understand? You know why your brothers and sisters at camp against you? Because he knows where he gets his food from. You understand? And if he thinks getting that person angry is not going to get him fed, and he ain't coming nowhere. He's not willing to go that route, go all the way. In his mind, he suffer enough. And that's why when Christ went to that rich man, he could not do what?
Lose his life.
Well, yes, but he couldn't do what?
He couldn't sell all that he had.
Yes, he couldn't give that money up. He couldn't give that wealth up. You understand? He could not. And that's the root right there, brother. You understand? Them is the two main roots. You really get down to it, them is the two main roots to why a brother,
So,
you know what I mean? Come on.
So, like it, sir. And now that you're on that topic, there was the Ak and we were coming from camp, and we weren't disputing nothing. We were just in that instant where Christ said that it was easier for a camel to go through the eye of the needle in one account, and one of the brothers was saying like that basically saying it's impossible for a rich man, and then in the other account it says hardly will hardly be able to get into the kingdom. I'm paraphrasing, but the word hardly was used. I think in Mark Mark and Matthew have two different ways how Christ said it. But I was trying to tell, and I didn't really give him the breakdown. I said, well, I'll ask Cap about the breakdown. Does that mean that it's impossible or hardly? Because in my opinion, and that's my opinion, you can be rich in Israel and still get into the kingdom.
What gets you into the kingdom?
Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's it. You understand? The riches don't get you into the kingdom, and not because you're poor. That means you have a pass to get into the kingdom, right? You understand?
So, like,
come on.
If I could, sir, would it be a situation where Christ, in both accounts, even though some of the English translation might be a little different, but it's still we know it's blacks and Hispanics speaking. We know Christ was as we say, but the fact is he was a black man. So him saying it's impossible is almost like me saying like, yo, bro, like you can never beat me in one-on-one. It's impossible. It doesn't mean like literally it could never happen. It's like it is so difficult that I'm using this language to be like, yo, like it's nigh unto never happening. Because if you a rich man, look at your Jay-Z. If Jay-Z go on his YouTube and see Commander General YAHANNA or the generals or the other captains speaking, he might even be like, damn, this makes sense. But then he's gonna be like, yo, I got that $2 billion deal on the table tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And now what he gonna do? He gonna give up all them billions and come sweep floors and I.S.U.P.K. Brooklyn with Hazahab? Probably not.
Yep. That's what you described there is how to put it is the breakdown basically. It's hard. It's difficult. Now, is their brother that will be like will turn it down? Oh yeah, their brother that will turn it down. Remember the Bible say, where it say in Psalms where he said the Lord reserved 10,000 men that will not bow the knee to who? To Baal. You understand what I'm saying? Does that mean that it's 10,000 poor men?
So like it, sir, it was just the slang. It was just the slang he was using, sir.
Yes, it's black people. That's how we talk. And it's like you remember I think it's Solomon. When Solomon say of 1,000 men, how many good men he found?
So like, sir, one.
And of 1,000 women, how much he has found?
None.
Like, none.
So I guess your wives and them ain't making it into the kingdom. Salakia.
Salakia, sir.
Them sisters ain't making it into the kingdom. That, you know what I mean? You understand? It just means what? What does it mean?
It's very hard.
Yeah, that's all. It's difficult. I mean, a man understands. I mean, the power of taking orders. He understands it. Completely. But it's more difficult for a sister in this kingdom to comprehend. You understand? Because her desires is going to have to be onto who? Her husband. So it seems like if she has to give up a little more, right? And to her, the power that the so-called oppressor gives her in this kingdom, oh boy, to give up that's like putting $2 billion on the table for her. It's hard for her to give that power up. All right. Somebody else going to say something?
Come on. So like, I was gonna say what Al-Sataban was saying. It's so heavy, like because that's why you get brothers like the Kyrie Irvings and the Deshaun Jackson them, where they can say the Israelites are black, the true Jews, and then come out and apologize because they look at that $1 million deal or that 2 million, whatever the case may be. They look at them deals and they say, I'm looking at this money, so I must have made it. You know what I'm saying? And see themselves as not one of us.
Yeah. Correct. Or guess what it's saying? I'm going to try to do what?
So like buy my way?
Not buy my way, but more so you ever hear people say, well, you have to work from the inside?
Oh, con. Like them black police officers?
Yep. You understand?
Come on.
And that's not how we do it. All right. So now let's get back to the video. Play the video from me. Play a little more of the video.
You said go back to the video, sir?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little more of the video. It'll be. I mean, I hope I don't think I have enough time to do everything that I want to. We're gonna try and get as much in as we could.
Okay.
Last year, they banned the cultivation of poppy. That's the crop used to make the drug heroin. It was a major source of income for Afghan farmers, also a major source of funding for the Taliban. But they banned it. Now, on the face of it, the move seems like a rare positive by the Taliban, but the West is not happy with it. They're now raising an alarm over the shortage of the drug. Not making this up. Some in the West do not want this poppy ban to continue because this could lead to problems on Western shores. Our next report explains.
The Taliban are in the middle of a war. Not the usual kind, though. It's their version of a war on drugs. You see, Afghanistan is the world's heroin basket. For years,
Pause that. What does that sound like? What does that sound like? What does it sound like?
Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like the war on drugs here.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I wonder if I could get it here, but hold on. Play a little more tab one. I'm gonna see if I can get some here.
Okay.
Produced over 80% of the world's heroin. But
Good
last year,
night.
the Taliban put a ban.
They produce over how much percent? What did it say, Taiwan? Over what? 80%?
I think they said 80%.
Over 80% of the world's 80% of the world's heroin.
80.
But last year,
and they're gonna put a ban on that? Or somebody fitting to get invaded again.
So, like, if I may add one,
come on.
This ban also goes into the increase of fentanyl coming into the states too. because instead of they've been coming back on this heroin and this poppy seed for like the last year for pain meds. So-called China been selling their fentanyl to the States to replace the product for the amount of product that's been coming into the States for his poppy seeds and opium out of one.
Okay, I hear you with what you're saying there, right? But you're gonna have to, okay, what did the news anchor say they're using it for?
Say again, sir?
What did the news anchor say?
For profits. For
no,
profits.
she called the drug by its name.
Come on.
What drug is it called?
Heroin.
Yeah. She called it by its name. And English is a funny language. You understand? Did she say for medical? You know what I mean? These opium is for medical use. This, that, the other. What did she say?
Heroin, sir.
Yeah. And you don't see why she say heroin. You understand? And that's why today, okay, you could clearly see there's an opioid problem in the country. And that's why today it's a what? They're treating it as a what?
As a disease.
Yes, as an addiction. Correct. Right? You're correct. Right? Right? Now, let me see if I could share this with you, Tamu. Share screen. What do I want to share? The Kindle. Give me 1 minute. Let's say that's how to do something here. 1 minute, right, Tabo one. Man, I might be able to share it with you. All right? Because this Apple thing tell me a whole ton of trash. But how I gotta restart. All right, what I'll do is I'm gonna read it, right?
Okay.
This is from when crack was king.
I might be able to find the excerpt, sir.
Okay. Trying to see what page I'm on. In 1 minute.
If you can read a few words, I might be able to find it.
I'm on page 45. I won't be so far.
By Donovan Ramsey.
Donovan. The name sound correct.
Yes, so I would just need like a couple of words, and maybe I might.
Oh, okay. So they say this is one from here, right?
Okay.
So they say now parts of many of our cities, this is on page 41, right? Lies in ruin. You need not leave these city limits to verify the destruction and the resulting hardship to our citizens. And you know whom the fires burned. So he's talking about the riots. You all remember when Martin Luther King was murdered, right?
Con.
There was a ton of riots that took place, right? A ton of riots that took place, and they burned down stores. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Black people was really angry because of that, right? So they say out just as you know who lit the fires. He told the group, which included civil and religious leaders. they were not lit in honor of your great fallen leaders. Now you can clearly see this is a what? Oppressor talking to your black leaders. You understand? And he's telling them that the fire was not lit, right, in honor of your great fallen leaders, nor were they lit for an overwhelming sense of frustration and despair. Those fires were kindled at the suggestion and with the instruction of advocates of what? Violence. What is he saying? And this was Agnew, right? This was one of Nixon, I think was Nixon vice president.
Yes, that's what he was.
You understand? This came out his mouth, his filthy mouth. What was he saying?
So, lucky, sir, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying like organizations like the Black Panthers and, you know, organizations that were about self-defense and about black people, you know, taking up arms were responsible for the riots.
Yes. And we did not do it out of what? He said it wasn't out of?
It wasn't out of anger or oppression or nothing like that.
Yeah. Which is, you know what I mean, which is crazy. Like they just saw their leader killed, shot in the what? In the face or the head, executed. And he was trying to do what? What was Martin Luther King trying to do?
Get us to love white women. No, I'm Salaki, sir. No, he was trying to get us to join hand in hand.
Yes.
With the oppressor.
Yes. You understand? He was trying to get us to join with them, but then they kill him. So how could you come and make this statement? You understand? Tabon, keep the thing up there for me, right? The video.
Okay.
All right, I'm trying to get it. That's so, eh?
It's like
Give me 1 minute. Where it's basically tells about the COINTEL. Okay, now let's go here. This is on page 45. All right. Now play a little bit more of the video, and then we'll get to this a little bit.
Okay.
The Taliban put a heroin basket. For years, it has produced over 80% of the world's heroin. But last year, the Taliban put a ban on poppy cultivation. Poppy is the crop that is eventually turned into opium and then heroin. It was grown throughout Afghanistan, especially in the west and southwest. Nowadays, you see headlines about the Taliban burning down fields of the crop. Now you'd think this was a good thing. The women-hating tribal warlords finally doing something good for a change. But it seems that the West isn't too happy about this move. Take a look at these headlines. The first article talks about how the Taliban's successful opium ban is bad for Afghans and the world. Yes, really. It's by the United States Institute of Peace. The organization is an independent institute founded by the US Congress, and it warns about the dangers of less opium in the world. Let's first look at some of the points raised. It says that poppy farming has helped Afghan farmers survive the chaos the country regularly goes through, that forcing them to move to other crops would bring more hardship to the small-scale farmers. It would also widen existing inequalities. Rich farmers could hoard opium harvests and sell the crop at a higher rate when supplies dry up. The poor farmers will be at risk. They could resort to selling assets like livestock to make ends meet, leading to ruin in the long run. This sounds like a humane argument. It considers the plight of poor Afghan farmers. But let's look at the other
pause
side.
Pause it. No. You all okay? Are you all understanding what is taking place here?
Salak y'all the one. It's all propaganda, if I may.
Okay. Okay, just by what you're seeing.
They want the they're essentially saying it's better that the people stay high off heroin than it is for them to cut it down. Other one.
Salakia, sir.
You on it? Mm-hmm. Come on.
It seems like they're in favor of the rich farmers cultivating the crop and oppressing the poorer farmers to sell other crops.
Not really. America don't really care about the money. I want to say they don't care about the money, meaning they got money. You understand? They're sending billions to Ukraine.
So like y'all the one. I was gonna say that they're coming up against it because they want people high off heroin. I don't want. They don't want to stop the production of heroin at all.
But okay, what you're seeing there, meaning okay, if you are an Afghanistan citizen, if you want an Arab, what would you be saying?
Slacky, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you'd be saying, okay, well, I can't survive without selling this opium.
No, remember they put a ban on it. Okay, what was the excuse or what was the reason that was given? What was the reason America was given?
So like they were saying that if they were to cut it, like the people would have to resort to other forms of agriculture outside of the heroin production.
Yeah, other forms of income.
Come on.
Right? Meaning they may have to work harder for their money.
Yes, sir.
They may have it may result in them doing what? Selling their land.
Yes, sir.
You understand? So they're painting what? That they could be what? Living like who? Just to put it in a nutshell, living like who? Like black people. They're trying to paint a picture. You're going to suffer. You understand? Your people are going to have to suffer. You're getting money, easy money. Tons of money getting poured in there for that opium. And they say they turn that opium into what? Heroin. You understand? They ain't saying they turn it into morphine or what? Or what's the other drug?
Percocet.
They ain't saying that, and it's not saying that. You understand? They say this opium is turned into what? Heroin. You understand? Right? Now, if you are an Afghanistan person, what would you say about your leadership?
Slacky, sir. You'd say that they're allowing this to happen to us, that they're not supporting us.
I think I lost in New Orleans.
Salakia, sir. If I may, could we go back like 10, 15 seconds?
Go ahead. Take them out to 10, 15 seconds.
Come.
Dry up, the poor farmers will be at risk. They could resort to selling assets like livestock to make ends meet, leading to ruin in the long run. This sounds like a humane argument. It considers the plight of poor Afghan farmers. But let's look at the other side. Almost 3.5.
Right.
Come on.
So I believe a little bit before that, they tried to make it seem like that if they weren't growing these poppy, this heroin that infected the entire world.
Go ahead. Ash, just mute him for now. Tabon, you had the thing.
Sorry, I did, sir.
Okay, Tawada. Go ahead.
Come on. So I believe like a little further back in the video, they didn't address it as it would only affect the farmers in Afghanistan, but they made it seem like it would affect the earth or the world if they didn't grow those poppy seeds or that heroin. If they didn't grow it, it would affect everybody. Like basically, making it like a political move. Like, oh, if we don't do this, this is helping everybody, not only y'all.
Okay, yeah, that's what it said. But okay. Okay, basically, let's put it in a nutshell for time's sake, right? What they're trying to do, or what America is trying to do, America is trying to counter what the Taliban is trying to do. What's the Taliban trying to do?
Lucky, sir.
Uh-huh.
Could it be that the Taliban is actually purposely trying to stifle America's economy?
No.
So like it's a
come on.
Yeah. The Taliban is trying to do something good to stop the production of opium over there.
Why?
Because they see the problems that is they're using it to create heroin. So they don't want the heroin be produced by the poppies that they grow. So I don't think they want to be associated with that.
No.
So like if I
Good night. Hey, I ain't lying.
It's
oppression is real. Israel. Trust me. Oppression is real. Come
so
on.
like if I may, sir.
Uh-huh.
If they stop that, it'll be a form of freedom for them.
Okay, what do you mean?
It's like because they are relying on the people to give 80% of their heroin to the U.S. So it's like you're becoming a slave to their drug. I mean, to the
No, you are thinking too deep. This ain't deep.
Salakia, sir.
This ain't deep. It's right in front of your face.
Salakia, sir. If I may. So they will be trying to stop it because all you have to do is look at what drugs did to the black community. And
okay. They don't have to look at the black community.
Salakia, sir.
Uh-huh.
Are they just trying to raise the prices?
No.
So like I don't want. Is it their by them not relying on other forms of resources? It's
no,
like
no. Okay, no, that's not it. Why do you go out on the streets and tell black people they should stop selling drugs? They should stop doing drugs.
So
why
like
do you do it? Just answer that question, and we'll answer this question. Yes,
because we believe that God. Well, we believe in the Most High's law, and it says that thou shalt not suffer a wish to live.
So, like, sir.
Come on.
Because we care about our people.
Yes. Because you love black people, Akim. The Afghanistan, they remember, what does the Bible say about our leadership?
Our gauge language.
Meaning what?
They're weak.
We don't have leaders. We don't have strong leadership. The only strong leadership you have is Commander General YAHANNA. You understand? That's the only black strong leadership for black Hispanics and Native Indians. That is not the Taliban. The Taliban actually does what? They care about their people. They love their people. Even though the earth have to suffer, not the Talibans, not their people. Because they see what they don't even have to look at black people. Play tab one. Go back about 10 seconds and play it.
Okay.
Leading to ruin in the long run. This sounds like a humane argument. It considers the plight of poor Afghan farmers. But let's look at the other side. Almost 3.5 million Afghans are addicted to opium in some form or the other. That's about 10% of the population. The drug is wrecking lives, more so since the Taliban took over in 2021. After all, a lot of people turned to drug abuse to cope with the horror of the Taliban's return.
Pause it now.
So while the plight of the farmers is...
Do you all understand now?
Can't no one can't, so.
Oh, clearly you understand now.
We should have just let the video play, Cap.
No, and not just let the video play. That okay. Because we're in oppression, we need the video to play out. Okay. You understand? If you was in oppression, you would see the reason why they're doing it. You understand? They care about their people. They love their people to the point where they're willing to go to war with the entire earth.
It's like so.
Come on.
Counsel, I just didn't know that they was taking the drugs. I didn't know.
What you mean? You didn't know they was taking the drugs? So drugs coming from there, you didn't know they're taking the drugs? How you think America was able to stay there for so long?
I mean, I guess I'm just not up, but I knew that they was exporting it because we was talking about how it's 80% of the world's population of heroin. So the conversation, I thought we was talking about, our people being on heroin. I didn't know that, I'm saying, these Arabs was out here getting high. I didn't even know.
No, I'm talking about our people and all being on heroin. But I'm trying to show you the difference with leadership.
Come on.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to show you the difference with leadership. They're seeing that their people are being destroyed by drugs and willing to go to war with the rest of the earth. Remember in the beginning, they say it's the war on what?
War on drugs.
But with Nixon and them, it was war on what?
Blacks and Hispanics.
Yes. It was war on drugs. Because if it was war on drugs, then they would have stopped the drugs from coming in the country. They could have easily stopped the drugs from coming in the country. Easily. So don't tell me you care about black people. You understand? And the mere reason, remember, everything they do to us is really a study and a type of research they're doing. And when they do it to us, guess what they do? What did they do after they do it to us? What happens after?
They tried on some other persons.
Not other persons, but other what?
People.
Other
Races.
nations.
Yeah.
Yes. You understand? They tried it on other nations. They knew that when they gave us drugs, what happened to our community? What remember what I just read? It was in what?
It was in shambles.
Yes. Brother, you go take a look at these poor black communities. It looks as if a bomb dropped in that area. That's how bad it looked. You understand? And you will see people walking around like what? Like zombies. You ever see somebody on heroin? How they look?
Come.
How they be leaning over. You know what I mean? Reach this close to the ground arc and ain't touching. This close and ain't touching the ground. You understand? You pat them. Hey, wake up. They come to the senses a little bit. And then after what? Less than a minute, they're back what?
Stuck.
Nodded. Again, all the way down to the floor. You understand? Right? Now, my question to you is, if black people have to give up selling drugs, have to give up being on drugs, how do we take care of each other? What do we do? According to the Bible.
Say that again, sir.
If we stop, right? Because remember, black people say what? The kingpin. What does the kingpin say? What the drug dealer say?
He says like, if I could, sir.
Mm-hmm.
He says, like Biggie said, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to make some money to feed my daughter.
You understand? Or he trying to get rich quick, right? No, you take that away from him, right? Remember what America's telling them. You say if you take this type of livelihood away from these farmers, what's going to happen to them? What's basically going to happen to them?
They're going to have to sell their land and cattle.
So meaning they're going to have to be what? Poor. You understand? They're going to have to suffer. Right?
Yes, sir.
But they're not like us. They understand what? They understand Taliban Brotherhood. You understand?
Come on.
No, we understand the Bible Brotherhood. No, give me this. Give me the scripture. Hold on. Give me Proverbs 14 and 31. Right? Now before we get to Proverbs 14 and 31, right? What page I say I was on? 45? Okay, forgive me. I'm trying to my eyes messed up. Right? So listen to this excerpt here, right? Come on. Stick with me now, all right? It's in a diary entry from 1969. White House Chief of Staff H.R. Haldeman paraphrased Nixon private thoughts, referring to the president as P. Haldeman wrote, P emphasized that you have to face the fact that the whole problem is really the blacks. The key is to devise a system that recognizes this while not appearing to. Right? Remember the Bible said they what? They're confederate against us. You understand? Right. Remember they devise plan while in the sleep, in the waking, they're devising a plan to do what? Destroy us. Right? No, I'll skip down maybe a verse. So they say a paragraph, the Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that had two enemies, the anti-war left and black people. And Richland told Harper's writer, Dan Bynum, right? We knew we could not, we knew we could not make it illegal to be either against the war or blacks. But by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin and blacks with what? Heroin. And then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. You understand? We could arrest their leaders, raid their houses, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did. You understand? Right? But nobody cares about this. Wow, and how we know nobody cares about this? How do we know?
So like you, sir, because we didn't burn all the heroin, kick all the drug dealers out, burn all the drugs that was coming into the community.
Yeah, but remember, we had a power in that case, right? Like, the Lord gave us the power overnight. A drug dealer, trust me, he will not want to be living in your community. You understand? He'll be living in the forest. You understand? He'll be on the run if the Lord give us the power tonight. You understand?
Right.
But come on.
But there hasn't been any justice, meaning
that's it. Yeah. That's it. You have to say no more Kowal.
Oh God.
That's it. That's how you know they don't care about us. Because nobody went to jail. Who went to jail for this? Nobody went to jail for this. They're talking about reparation. What about justice for this? This happened, what, 50 years ago? You understand? And now you look at today, and you're still seeing the residue. Drugs is worse than what? Finish my sentence. It's worse than what?
It's worse than death.
It's worse than a nuclear bomb. A nuke, there's a time before you could get back on that land and work with it. Drugs act, you ain't getting rid of that shit just so. Excuse my language.
Right.
What they did, you ain't getting rid of that just so. If not for Commander Jenny YAHANNA, we will be in that situation until Christ returns.
That's right.
I'm so serious. We'll be in that position. You understand?
Slug Cap.
Come on.
That's heavy. You brought it up too about the atomic bomb. You know, they feel sorry for those children in Hiroshima and Nagasaki that was born with, like, you know, 2 heads and Siamese twins. But what about those crack babies that were born? You know what I'm saying? All those low birth weight children, all the mothers who, you know what I'm saying, lost babies due to being on crack. You know, and then the group home system, I mean, it was worse than the atomic bomb because we're still feeling the effects today.
I'm telling you, it's worse than a nuclear bomb. It's worse than a nuke. A nuke have a time span, but drugs you can clearly see it does not have a time span. Right? Read on. No, read Proverbs for me.
Come on, sir. Book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 31. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker.
What?
He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker.
You understand what it's saying there? What is it saying there?
It's like it, sir. He that oppresseth the poor hate the Most High.
Yes. You understand? And who is the poor?
It's like, sir, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, God's chosen people.
Yes. They know we are the poor. They know what they could do to help the poor. You think they can't put up programs, they can't give us, you know what I mean, some type of funding where, you know what I mean, we take that and now we invest it into our community. You understand? We can do that, and they could do that. But guess what? They do not want to do it.
Right.
Right? Any more on that? Verse 32?
Come on, sir. Slice, sir. You want to finish 31?
Yeah, finish 31.
Come. But he that honoreth him have mercy on the poor.
You understand? He that honoreth him have mercy on the poor. And that's you. Yeah, you brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K. You honor the poor. You understand? By the work you're doing for them. You're feeding them, you're clothing them. And of course, the most important thing, you're teaching them the Bible according, according to the Bible, basically. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Yeah, you ain't lying to them. You're telling them the truth. You understand? All right? Read on.
Come. Verse 32. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness.
The what?
The wicked is driven away in his wickedness.
He left from us, putting us on drugs to do what? To go put in the whole earth on drugs. You understand? Putting the whole earth on drugs. Like, this place is so wealthy. Like, okay, they're printing money out, but you think they could count the amount of money that's coming in?
Right.
You understand? Remember this whole news, right? That we just part of that we listened to. The newscaster was saying that they was that America was giving them what? An excuse. I forget the term he used. But it's like saying he was giving them an excuse You understand? To do what they were doing. You know what I mean? Or a reason why they should not stop selling heroin. You understand? And the same thing with here. They try to give us a reason that it sound good, and that's what the Newcastle says, it sound good, but there's always another side to it. Like, who is it affecting? Why is it affecting this group more than this group? You understand? And you can clearly see that this oppressor, he doesn't care about anybody, not even his people, because now his people is getting strung out on the same heroin, and he don't care. But he cares about our money. You understand? Read on.
Come. But the righteous have hope in his death.
But what?
But the righteous have hope in his death.
Break that down for me.
Come on, sir, if I could. The righteous will have their day when he's gone. Like when that wicked one is gone, then the righteous will rise.
That's it. When that oppressor gone. Well, how you get rid of drugs? How you get rid of drugs?
It's like it, sir, when the drug dealer's gone.
Yeah. Or the people who on it have to stop.
Come.
You understand? You understand? But what this is saying here is that your oppressor, he has to go.
That's right.
He has to go. Once your oppressor go, we're going to know how to clean the streets up. We will know how to clean the streets up. He just had to leave us alone. If he leaves us alone, trust me, we're going to clean that street up. Because we see the effect, what drugs do to your community. But because he chooses your black leaders, and he chooses your black leaders that is willing to sell out, we will be in this cycle, this perpetual cycle.
Okay.
Right? That is it on verse 32.
Come, sir.
All right, so now let me read a little more from the book for you. All right, that's on page, I think it's 44. They say, alongside its war on drugs. All right? Hold on. Okay, and now I can't skip this verse here, man. So it said the Nixon administration did not require evidence that drug use was linked to rising crime. However, and it did not need to prove to the American public that doped up blacks were responsible for that crime, right? Like many of you know that most of the crimes that black people commit, they are committing it what?
Because of poverty, sir.
Yes, you're correct. But on this point right here that I'm making, right? Black people kill other black people most of the time because of what? Or just before they commit a crime. What happened? Come on.
Selak, yes, sir, because them high.
Yeah,
high on drugs.
They're high on drugs. And that's what he's saying here. And he's saying, and it did not need to prove to the American public that doped up blacks were responsible for that crime. Right? It had two facts. Drug use was up, and so was violent crimes in big cities. So now you make us poor, as Janice is saying, and now you push what? Drugs into the community.
Slagia, sir.
Come on.
That's so heavy too. I think it was a few years back when Chicago had like one of the most bloodiest summers when all that drill music was going crazy. One of the doctors said that it was a trauma surgical doctor when the brothers would come in shot from gang violence or whatever. He said almost 98% of them were high off some drug already.
You understand?
You had to ask them, "Hey, are you high?" Because in order to give them morphine or something, you don't want them to be high off perks already and OD them. He said every one of those patients that got shot, young kids were high off marijuana or some pill. 98% of them.
You understand?
So the nigga that shot him was high.
Yes, correct. And that's what it's saying. And they know it. They know it back then, and they know it right now.
Salakia, sir.
Come on.
and I know you're on this point of like hard drugs like heroin and stuff like that, but I met Greensboro police narcotics detective, right? And I mean, like I had a big conversation with him, and he pretty much was just kind of revealing things, just talking out his ass. But really, he was telling me that, and I know we don't sleep on it, but those are hard drugs. And I was thinking like, well, I asked him, I said, man, well, what's the murders? He's like, I'm gonna be honest. He's like, most of the murders in the Black and Hispanic community, he's like, they're not even related to like cocaine or heroin. He said the majority of the murders are weed related. So I don't know how, I know like we like the weed is like, they don't look at it as like a real severe drug, but it causes a lot of damage.
No, and okay, I think you misunderstand what I'm saying too. I'm putting weed in it also too.
Okay, Khan.
Drugs on the whole are. You understand? Drugs on the whole is destroying the Black community, the Hispanics and Native Indians. And when I say high, I'm not just saying high off a crack. I'm saying high off of weed, Percocets, whatever they're on, they're high. You understand? And it's a drug, right? And of course, as he said, they're high. And it's a problem, right? So now listen to this, right? So they say it had two facts. Drug use was up, and so was violent crime in big cities. Americans would fill in the blank. And what's that blank? What's the blank? What's the blank? You want to go ask Jason Aldean what's the blank? What's the blank?
So,
Right? The blank basically is Jason Aldean. What Jason Aldean say? Come try this in a what?
Small town.
Yeah. Who is he talking to?
Talking to black folks.
Yeah, we just filling in the what?
Blanks.
Yeah, the blanks. And that's what he's saying. You're gonna have to fill the blanks in. Well, if the majority of the crimes is in the black neighborhoods, drug use is up, then what should happen? What should happen? Let me see who has that politician blood in them. What should happen? We should be what? What is saying right now before the election? This should be what? What are you using right now?
There should be more treatment.
We should be more hard on what? On crime. So now it's switched from being hard on what? Drugs to being just hard on what? Crime. But crime includes what? Drugs and violent crime. You understand? And that's your oppressor for it. Right? Now listen to this. So they say using the same brutal imagination, they always had to rationalize a war on drugs targeting Black Americans. Right? Targeting Black Americans. Right? Now, do we have poppy fields? Do Black men have poppy fields? Do we have, do we have land to grow marijuana on? Do we have land to grow any type of plant, the cocaine? We have any land for that? No. So where they getting it from? We don't have any gun factory. We don't have any factory that's making and distributing bullets, right? We don't have none of these. Where are we getting it from? And guess what? We poor. So where we getting it from? You understand? Alongside its war on drugs, the Nixon administration was engaged in an all-out offensive on black political leaders. And that's why what? Your black political leaders have to do what? What they have to do? What do your black political leaders have to do?
They have to bow down.
That's you know what I mean? I'll take that. But it's almost like, go ahead.
It's a luck, yes, sir. Now them have to come down hard on them people.
Yeah. Yeah. So now they can't make up what? No excuse. You understand? Remember with there's a story that came out with Jason I think with that same Jason Aldean, and how the black leaders were totally offended by what, you know what I mean, what he was saying, right? But they're in positions to do what? To help black people out. But instead of doing that, they really can't do that. Now it's a what? Like a give and take on the table for them. You understand? Right? So listen to this. The FBI had been surveillancing, threatening, and attempting to discredit black leaders since as early as 1956. You all understand what I'm reading, right?
Oh, God.
The FBI had been what's that word? Surveying, threatening, and attempting to discredit black leadership since as early as 1956 as part of its counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO. That's it. That's your purple group. You understand? That's what they always try to do. They're always trying to do what? What are they always trying to do? Oppress black people, oppress Hispanic people, oppress them by doing what? By surveillancing them, threatening them, discrediting their black leadership. Thanks be to the Lord, they can't discredit Commander John YAHANNA. Why?
Right.
Because he teaches us to do what? Obey the law. Don't just obey the law of the land. Obey what? Obey God's law.
Right.
You understand? Obey God's law. You walk perfect in this place called America. And they could surveillance you from now till Christ come back, and they will have nothing on you. But if you want to be a criminal, guess what? They're gonna come and meet you. You understand? They're gonna come and sit down and talk with you and cut a deal with you. You understand? They say the FBI sank to new lows under Nixon. However, with its effort to destroy the Black Panther Party, and according to a Bureau memo, prevent the rise of a black messiah who would unify and electrify the militant black nationalist movement.
Right.
You understand?
Come.
No, the Taliban ain't us. They ain't us. And they're not better than us. You understand? But brother, you better know what you're up against. You understand? And now, my questions here. No, is hold on. Let's read this next part right here too. They say Hoover had declared the Panthers the greatest threat to the internal security of the country in 1968. Guess who's the biggest threat right now? Who's the biggest threat right now?
The I.S.U.P.K, sir?
Yes, or what they were called the Black Israelites,
Oh, okay.
the Black Hebrews, right? They say in the years that followed, the group became the primary focus of the COINTELPRO, with the FBI employing surveillance, informants, psychological warfare, legal threats, smear campaigns, and violence in an attempt to neutralize the Panther. Brother, thanks be to the Lord in the U.P.K.
That's right.
Right? And what did the Bible say? All weapons formed against you will not what? Ain't gonna prosper. Why? Because you are obeying God, not man. You are obeying God. You understand? You better understand what group you're in, what organization you're in. You understand? This is very serious. You better be one West when you get up, one West when you sleep. You better, in your mind, you should be sleeping in your camp uniform. When you go to work, in your mind, you should have on what? Your camp uniform. You go to the store, your camp garment. I should say, not uniform, but garment. You understand? You better walk like that. And you better hold your wife, your kids, everybody to that standard. Or else, guess who coming for them? Who coming for them? America, the FBI, the CIA. They're coming, right? And you clearly see, as Commander General prophesied, that purple group, that's them. You understand? You see, the organization, its chapters, and the leaders were the target of an estimated 233 authorized actions, according to a later report on the COINTELPRO by the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence Activity. And how many of you watched the I think it's the radio show last night? You all watched the radio show last night? You all should go watch that radio show last night.
I will cancel.
You understand? Your name on the list. You understand? Your names are on the list. You understand? They are surveillancing you like a mole. So if you want to be a sinner, they're coming for you, I'm telling you. You understand? Whatever you're doing, you better clean it up. Clean it all the way up. Because you are right now under a microscope, not just from the Most High, but from your oppressor. All right? All right, let me see. All right? There's so much here. Let me see. Let's get a little more scriptures. Right? Now, with that, right? How did the Lord, how did the Lord deal with us? How did he deal with us when it came to, the
Sorry, sir.
By being poor, like the poor of us. All right.
Salakia.
Come on.
Brotherhood.
Yes, brotherhood. That's what I'm going to get us out of this hell out. I mean, things are not going to be the same, Akim. It's not going back to being the same. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it for you. You understand? From here, it's downhill. And we're gonna need to lean on each other. We're gonna have to do it. You wanna get off that pride. You understand? We're going to have to come together. You understand? Right? And there's some laws in the Bible that shows you how to, you know what I mean, how to take care of the poor so that he doesn't have to do what? He doesn't have to become a criminal to what? To survive. Right? Get Leviticus 23 and 22. Right? And this is just one of them. And there's so many other scriptures, especially in that Leviticus 25, from Leviticus 25, 24, all the way down. It speaks about, you know what I mean, about if your brother had to sell his possession, you know what I mean, in a time of need, how you're to go about treating it. You understand? But let's get this Leviticus 23 and 22.
Salaki, sir, I got it.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest.
So that's the Lord putting a law into effect here, right? So you have land. He's saying not to do what?
Not to harvest all of the crops on the corners of your property. Your
Why?
field.
Why he's telling you not to do that? Read on.
Karawankan. Neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest.
Right? And what's the gleaning of your harvest?
Like the stuff that falls to the ground?
Yes. Right, read on.
Thou shalt leave them unto the poor.
Thou shalt what?
Leave them unto the poor.
You understand? And you know it's a good example too to show you how we was with each other. You all remember when the Queen of Sheba came to see David, and she took one of his servants, who was King David.
Yes, because he was dressed fly.
You understand? And that's because they were doing what? They were taking care of each other, according to the law. You understand? I can't have all the food in the world here, and you hungry, and now we should be looking at each other as brothers. You understand? If you hungry, I had to be hungry too. If you eating, I had to eat too. You understand? Right? And that's how it has to go. We can't have the Taliban looking better than us. No. You cannot. You understand? Right? But they had the power to do it. They had the power to do what?
To stop the opium.
Yeah, they had the power to do it. You know what I mean? They had the power to do it. But Lord will I, you're going to get the power to do the same thing the Taliban doing. Right. Because they love their people. Right. You understand? They have right leadership. Right. They're willing to go to war with the entire earth for their people to what? To survive. What you willing to do, black man? Is Hispanic man and Native Indian. What are you willing to do for your people? You understand? Right? Come on. Read on.
Okay. And thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord your God.
You understand? And the stranger is who?
The fellow Israelite.
Yes, who came from another city. That's to show you how we would treat each other. So another man come from another city. He don't know nobody else in that town. So guess what? He knows if he see an apple on the outskirts and he hungry, he could do what?
He can get it and eat it.
And eat it. Pick it and eat it. He sees it on the floor, on the earth. He can pick it up, wash it, and do what? Eat it and move on. You understand? Like that is the extreme of brotherhood. And this is what this school is built on. Brotherhood. You understand? Right? Now, I'm gonna read this last part, and then Lord will I'm gonna try and get some more. We'll try and get some more next week on it. All right. Our next one to get into called the Lucifer principle. Show you how they think. All right, give me 1 minute. Computer acting up a little bit here. Right. So this is on page 45. It said Nixon signed a comprehensive drug abuse prevention and control act into law that same year. Right? So now he trying to what? Put a bandage on what he created. Right? So it says the law was the opening salvo in the modern war on drugs, and it provided the federal government a legal foundation for its fight. The law had a number of important provisions, but the most significant was Title II, the Controlled Substance Act, which established 5 schedules to categorize substances based on their potential for addiction and their medicinal value. So substances included heroin, LSD, and marijuana were designed Schedule 1 drugs, meaning the government determined they had high potential for abuse and no accepted medical use. Right? They say amphetamines, barbiturates, morphine, and cocaine were among drug designated Schedule 2 substances with high potential for abuse, but some accept medical purposes. So you see, who uses cocaine? Who uses cocaine? Who uses all the amphetamines, the barbit? I don't know if I pronounce it. The barbiturates, right? I think that's your that's like a either a sedative or something like that. And then you have your morphine and your cocaine, right? That was Schedule 2. But it says some of it was accepted for medical purposes. You understand? Which lets you know that what? The war on drugs was really war on, as we all heard throughout the years, was on what? Black people. But the Taliban showing you how to do what? Go to war on what? Yeah, on drugs. They understand that their people are like this because of who? Because of who? America, but because of their leadership allowing it, their farmers doing it. That's why they went and put a ban to it and said, to hell with America, to hell with the world. 3 million of my people are strung out on heroin. And as I think somebody said it earlier on, with the soldiers, that's 3 million or 2 million soldiers that they could use. You understand? To help strengthen the economy. All right?
So, like, sir.
Come on.
So, like, I had a question, but I'm looking at the time. I can probably save it to next week.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Come on, sir, because it probably could be a little lengthy.
Okay. All right, no problem. All right, yeah, and I'm not looking at the time there too. So no sweat Akiums. If you all have any more questions, I'm gonna end it there, right? But I hate to end it like this. Hey, Taiwan, how much more do you have on that video?
Lucky, sir. Probably a good 3 minutes, maybe like 2 minutes.
2 minutes? All right, get him 1 more minute and that's it. Get 1 more minute and we out. You just need 1 more minute and you'll get, you'll get the full gist of what, the Taliban and them trying to do. They love their people out. They really love their people. And I'm jealous. Sad to say.
Return.
Come on.
So while the plight of the farmers is important, opium may not be the best way to support their welfare. The other arguments raised against an opium ban in the USIP article and others don't really focus on Afghans. They're about what will happen to the West. An opium and heroin ban will reduce the supply of the drugs in Europe because most of Afghanistan's heroin makes its way to Europe via Iran, Turkey, and then the Balkans. The relative ease of heroin access actually shields Europe from worse narcotics. From synthetic opioids like fentanyl. That's a drug leaving a trail of bodies in the US. It's reportedly 50 times stronger than natural heroin. Europe has managed to stay relatively fentanyl-free for now. The end of Afghan opium could change that, bring about a worse drug crisis in Europe. Now you can still justify this fear. While not brave or ideal, countries are, of course, allowed to prioritize the lives of their citizens over foreigners. But the other reasons given are less about life and more about comfort. The fear of immigrants. Once again, Europe wants to keep refugees away. Afghan refugees this time. The articles against the opium ban warn of a new exodus from Afghanistan. Of farmers who lose their livelihoods coming to seek asylum in Europe. And for that, the solution seems to be letting them continue farming poppy. It's ridiculous. How can the West be so xenophobic that they would prefer more drug production in the world over accepting refugees? How can they advocate just letting Afghans make more heroin instead of making room for refugees looking for a better life?
But brother, I'm
ending
jealous.
of Afghan opium.
Stop it, have one before I destroy my computer. Stop it. If I just toss this shit out the window. You understand? Just to hear that, just to hear these heathen talk, alone, and to show you, how to care for, for their people. You understand? When you could just take a drive 5 minutes outside your house down the street, and it's hell because of drugs and crime. You understand? And they're in that position because of who? Because of the oppressor, the West. You understand? They ain't calling them the oppressor. They're saying what? The West.
Yes.
You understand? Right? And because of them. And because of them, the earth the way it is. That newscaster has to say what? He said that you telling me that that heroin is more important or should be valued more than poor Afghanistan and refugees and immigrants. You see how that song then? You understand? When they're doing that to who? They're doing that to us. They don't care. They do not care about us. You understand? And that's why the Lord left these what? These laws in the Bible for us to follow. You understand? These commandments to follow so that your brother, even though he fall into decay, guess what? He have somebody to lean on. You understand? You don't have to make an excuse of going to sell what? Heroin. When heroin destroying the community, you don't make that reason. But if you believe in America, if you want to believe in the West, if you want to believe in your oppressor, yeah, you will do it. And so with that, I'm going to pass the class over to the priest and officer who's the God? For
Fayetteville.
For Fayetteville. Who's the God for Fayetteville?
Slack, I got it.
Priest and Officer Bankaya. I mean Kowal. Slaki.
Slack, 1 second. Well, men of Israel, Amadio. Israel, we're gonna win one curse salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amadio Shabbat. Amadio, Barak.
Yahaba Shimya Shabrakatham.
Yajamata, Sar, turn face the sisters. Men of Israel, we're gonna render one curse salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amadio Shabbat. Amadio, Barak.
Yahwa Shema Taba Shimya Shab.
Yajamata. All right. Security announcement. With the I.S.U.P.K start our One West on 25th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander YAHANNA, rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes to the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world throughout us. They're here to share themselves, of the world. If they need a presentation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months, which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in Hebrew, pronounced Ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund is a free will offer for priests, is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocations is going to be the 29th of September, and the Feast of Tabernacles will be in Charlotte. Also, if anybody's needs any assistance to get to the Midwest Cookout, contact your camp leader in your areas. Also, tune into America on Fire, Black Watch, Action and Prophets, Out the Matrix. All the podcast shows, Cross the Line Radio. Help support this truth. Like, share, subscribe. Anyone wants to be a trooper, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, class dismissed.